first it was supposed to be like a get ready with me sort of thing, but it kept getting interrupted by my sister, who is actually sitting right over there. I hope she doesn't make too much noise, but you know, whatever. So I basically just wanted to talk about some stuff that I've been feeling, and maybe some of you guys are feeling the same way, so whatever. I just feel like I am so over like the dating world that we are in, because it is so fucking confusing and weird, and I just feel like sometimes I can't even trust my own feelings anymore, and that sucks because I'm a really self-aware ass bitch. So for me to feel like that is, I don't know, it just blows me how everything is set up, and like, you never know. I thought that like, I don't even say what I'm trying to say. It's like you never even know when people are like playing you. You never really for real know. And it used to be where you could I feel like it used to be where you could easily tell just from the way that they treated you, the way that they talked to you, whatever. Yeah, this person isn't like whatever, but people will really go out of their way to seem like they're such good people, and I don't know. Okay, it just blows me how like you can feel a certain way for someone and they not feel the same way at all, but it wasn't like in a place where like there's no reason why you should have felt that way. I'm all over the place with this. You know, I could sit here and just think that like I'm a victim of like so many different things, and I'm not. I am the protagonist of my own story, just like everybody else, just like everybody watching this video, just like everybody that I've dated. And it's more than likely that the things that people have done to me that have hurt me, they probably don't think that we're that bad. And I'm sure that I've hurt the feelings of plenty of people, not on purpose, probably on accident. And I've been in a situation where people, like, guys have like felt so strong for me, and I just don't feel anything. And I'm wondering like how it just blows me that just even happens. Like, how does that even happen? For me to feel something so strong for someone and them not feel the same way, and vice versa. I don't get it, and that's what makes me feel like I can't trust my own feelings, and I can't like, not that I can't trust my own feelings, but it makes me feel very wary of situations now. I will give examples. Yes, I will give examples. And honestly, I feel like I've just been mostly feeling so weird about it because, well, I'll say that at the end. Okay, so I will give an example of two instances of exactly what I'm talking about. So right after I got back from China and school started, it was my last year of school. So basically, like, yeah, this all happened like last fall. So it's my fall semester of my senior year, and I live very far from the school that I went to. So obviously, you know, it's my last year. I'm not trying to really get into anything with anybody because I'm about to leave. And I had full intention of joining the Peace Corps right after graduation. So that was what I had in mind. And obviously that didn't happen because I have to, well, I'll probably talk about that in another video, but anyway, so I wasn't trying to start anything with anyone. If you want the real tea, if you want the unfiltered tea, I had full intentions of being a hoe. Because I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I just got out of a relationship, actually. And I wasn't really ready to, like, I needed time to recuperate, but also a bitch has her needs, so I was just trying to be a hoe. I was like, and not like a hoe, like, really, like, out here, like, I was trying to probably have, like, 3 guys in rotation, you know, safe rotation, always be safe, but rotation nonetheless. And so I matched with this one guy on Tinder, and I will call him Honey, because he was so sweet, but if you have too much, you'll be sick. So Honey and I matched, and we went on a date, and when I first met him, I didn't really think too much of it. Like, we talked, it was a good conversation, he was cute, but it seemed like at first he was way more into me than I was into him. Also, it just feels like this is not matching this, but in real life it's fine, so don't come for me. I mean, you can come for me if you want to, because like all comments help, but whatever. Maybe I'll put some lipstick on. It seemed like he was way more attracted to me than I was to him at first. You know, he kept talking about like how gorgeous I was and whatever. I thought he was cute, but I didn't think he was like all that in a bag of fucking chips. That did change over time, however. So I don't want to like go into the whole details, even though I'm probably going to end up, because in the last video where I was explaining this, I actually ended up going into like full details. But basically, we started seeing each other at least every week, and sometimes he would spend the night, most times he wouldn't, but he did a couple times. I think probably like 4 times he spent the night. And it wasn't ever like, it was never, I haven't really been in too many friends with benefit situations, but from what I've gathered, usually it's like you know, you come over specifically to, and then you leave. Okay, and that's probably where I went wrong with this, because we never did that. We always had a date of some sort. He never came over just to have sex with me. Like, we always went out and then went back to my place, or we would make dinner together, and then whatever. It always was something. We even hung out with my friends a few times. Like I said, that's probably where I went wrong. But on top of that, so we were really enjoying each other's company. We were having great woohoo. The woohoo was great, okay? It was really good. I ain't even gonna front. It was real good. Enjoying each other's company, having great woohoo, okay. And then, eventually, we started talking every day. And not on some, like, just like, oh, hey, what's up type of shit. I'm talking, like, deep conversations that we were having with each other. This lipstick doesn't go with this look. But I'm talking, like, conversations about life, about things. I sound like fucking Kylie Jenner. but we were having deep, like, conversations. We were getting to know each other. And he was really courteous about the way that he talked to me. Like, you know, he was a pretty busy person too. And I feel like, you know, we have this whole thing where if you're busy, a lot of people just get up in arms about updating you about that, and it's so weird to like expect people to update. Like, what I'm specifically saying is, like, if you're in a conversation with someone and you stop replying to them for a few hours, but you don't say that you're about to stop replying for a while, you just do it, and then you just pick up where you left off when you have time or whatever. He never did that, and I actually hate that. I hate it when like people do that, but like I feel like I've been conditioned to do that and like to just accept it because that's how mainstream dating works. Like, but whatever, like, but he always was like, especially if we were in the middle of a conversation, if he couldn't respond or if he had to go do something, he would tell me, hey, I have to go do something, or I have to get back to work. I have to really pay attention at work right now. I will get back to you when I can. And I just thought that that was so considerate. He would do really considerate things like that. And like for me, communication is fucking everything. I can't have feelings with someone, for someone, unless our communication is on point. And ours was on point. Like, on top of us having like deep conversations, like just the way that we talked to each other was just, it was really, you'd think this bitch was over here doing her own ASMR video, but it was great. I'm basically saying the same thing a bunch of times. It was really great. So, needless to say, when you're seeing someone regularly, you're going on dates, you're having sex, you're having great conversations with them every day, you're gonna catch feelings for them. And it got to the point where I didn't even want to see if I could possibly like find someone else or like have sex with someone else while I was having sex with him, because that wasn't my original plan, like to just have, because I didn't think that he would be like so available, like not that he was so available, but he made time for me. He made time for me even though it was a 45-minute commute to come see me. And then on top of that, the things that he did just really made me feel like we were moving towards a relationship, because his family knew about me. And I don't know who tells their family about a fuck buddy, unless that fuck buddy means something to them. Like, I would send him audio recordings of when I was in band and we were like playing something that I thought that he would like. I would send him recordings of it, because we were always showing each other new music, and like that is the first time I've ever done that with someone, to show them like new music. Even though I'm a musician, so it's weird, but like I like what I like, and I don't really like changing that. I'm a person that's like, when I figure out what I like, I don't really like going outside of that. But like with him, like we just did that all the time. We were always showing each other new music, and I really liked that because we had similar taste in music. There wasn't too many things that he showed me. I think there's probably like one or two things that he showed me that I didn't like. But other than that, I really liked everything that he showed me, and vice versa. So I would like send him these recordings of me and band and like the music that we were playing, and he would listen to it and then be like, oh my gosh, that was so good, I really like that. My dad was really impressed by it too. So he was showing his dad And then there was another situation where we went on a really fancy dinner date. The bill was probably like, I think the bill was like $80. Went on a really fancy dinner date, and during the date, his sister FaceTimed him and was like, hey, what are you doing? He was like, actually, I think he answered and was like, oh, I can't talk right now. I'm on a date with, he said my name. And I'm thinking she's about to say, like, oh, who is that? Blah, 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 blah. No, she goes, oh, tell her I said hi. And I'm like, so she knows about me? And in that same breath, he's like, you can tell her yourself. Flips the camera over, or like turns the camera around so I can see her and she can see me. And we're like, we had a conversation for like probably like 30 seconds. But like, I'm FaceTiming your sister. Come on now. And to top it all off, his mom baked these like homemade cookies that he just ranted and raved about. And he brought me some one time when he came to see me. And then he left, and I heated them up and I had them, and I like Snapchatted him, and I was like, oh my god, these are so good, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, it's my mom's birthday, she'll be happy to hear that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, happy birthday to her. And he told her that I said happy birthday. And he was like, yeah, she said thanks so much, that's sweet, that's really sweet. So your family knows about me. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, the only people that fucking knew about him were the people that hung out with him. My roommate, because obviously I needed to tell my roommate whenever I needed the room when he would come over. And that's it. My sister didn't know about that motherfucker. My mom didn't know about that motherfucker. My grandma didn't know about that motherfucker. My dad damn sure didn't know about that motherfucker because he was dead. He's still dead. Not was dead, but he was dead at that point. So it was like, and I don't like introducing my family to anybody who I'm not 100% sure, like, yes, we're together, yes, I see a future with this person, because I just don't see the point, apparently. So I just thought that that's how everybody operated. So when I found out that his parents knew about me, and it wasn't even just that his family fucking knew about me, there was an occasion where he was talking to me about his sister and how close they were and whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, she seems really cool. He said, when you meet her, you're gonna like her. When you meet her. So was I crazy to think that we were heading somewhere? I don't know, because it wasn't just that. It would be like, throughout the day, randomly sometimes, he would text me, oh, I'm thinking about you. This will forever blow me. Anyway, so basically we ended up getting into a huge argument. And I don't want to get into what that argument was about because it's really, really personal. But we got into a huge argument, and it really wasn't even an argument. It was more of like a really intense thing that he freaked out about. And I was really pissed off at him for like 2 days. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to because like my usual, when I'm pissed off at someone, or if I'm like in like sort of a situationship, relationship, whatever, with someone, and I'm really mad, I tend to just go off. But I was like, no, let me step away from this and let me tell him exactly how I feel, but in a constructive way. And that's what I did. And we ended up, he ended up apologizing, blah, 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 and we resolved it. And it was really healthy. Like, it wasn't an argument, it wasn't a fight. We just told our feelings, and I told him how he felt, he told me how he felt, I told him how I felt. He apologized, and I was like, wow, like, that was our first conflict, and we worked through it really well. And he even said, I am so glad that we're able to talk like this. So from there, I really thought that, like, we were going to progress into like developing into like, okay, we need to start talking about what we're gonna do here, because obviously I was feeling things. I thought that he was too. Immediately after that conflict was resolved and he said that to me, it just fell off. It just completely fell off. And it's so strange going from talking to someone every day to not hearing from them for like 5 days, seeing them post things on like Snapchat and Instagram, and things that like regularly you know that they would tell you about, but they just didn't. So basically I could tell he was pulling away from me, and I didn't know why. I couldn't think of why. And it was to the point where like I was getting really hurt by it, because I wasn't seeing anyone else. I didn't know if he was, because obviously we weren't exclusive, we weren't blah blah blah, so he could have been doing whatever, but I wasn't. I had no desire to. I just wanted him, and that's it. But I realized that he wasn't feeling the same way, and I didn't want to mess anything up. I thought maybe he needed some time to like think about how he felt or whatever, some bullshit. So I went on Bumble and I started seeing this other guy, and I will call him Hubba. No, I won't, that's ugly. I'll call him Kochi. So Kochi, we were very similar, but in all the ways that I hate. Like, we were really similar in like all of the aspects of myself that I can't stand. We were both incredibly awkward, incredibly type A, incredibly introverted. And when I'm around someone like that, it just brings that out in me even more. And so even though we had good conversation, there just wasn't any chemistry there for me personally. Now, one could argue that like I wasn't able to really be open to it, because I could tell that he really wanted to like date and like move towards a relationship. He wasn't like about that like friends with benefits life. He really wanted a relationship, I could tell, which was cool or whatever to me, but like obviously I wanted honey, and I was waiting for honey to realize that I was the girl for him. And but anyway, so our interactions were fine when we were just talking, but whenever he like wanted to like be romantic to me, it was just really awkward and weird, and it made me really awkward and weird because I'm already really awkward. Case in point, we had saw each other a couple times, we had talked a few times. It wasn't anything extensive like me and honey, but we would talk and it was fine. Like, it was fine. He was cool, he was cute, whatevs. So we had went on a couple dates. And our first date we didn't kiss. I really wasn't feeling it, so we didn't kiss, but I had a good time and I wanted to see him again. Okay, so the second time that we saw each other, and it was probably like a week in between, so we had talked some throughout the week, but like I said, it wasn't like nothing like me and honey. Like, we weren't having like riveting conversations, we were just having conversations and like, you know, this and that. So I invited him over my place to make brunch, and the way that he was fine, but whenever he tried to be like a little romantic or like, it was just so awkward. Like, I remember I went to my fridge to open up to see what I had to make, and he like put his hand around my waist while I was looking in the fridge, but in the most weird way. And I don't want to be like petty about it. I feel like he was trying his best, but he just didn't know what to do. And so, anyway, we make brunch. I made mimosas because I love alcohol, okay? And I'm still sick, so I'm not drinking right now. I'm not drinking until the end of next month because I'm going to a music festival and I'm planning on being fucked up every day. But if I have an excuse to drink alcohol, I'm gonna do it. So, made mimosas. We were watching a Netflix show, and we're sitting on my couch, and he like scoots over towards me, and then he's so awkward. He just takes my head, doesn't even ask me like, oh, you can put your head on my shoulder. Literally just takes my head and puts me on his shoulder. And I was like, okay, so I'm like sitting here like awkwardly like this, and we're watching the TV, whatever, and then he just turns to me and he's like, do you want to make out? And I'm like, and this guy is like 26, okay, and I'm like, we can like kiss, but I don't want to make out. And he was like, oh, okay. So we start kissing, and this guy literally is like, when you regularly kiss someone, you like, you open your mouth a little bit, you know, you're getting a feel for their lips or whatever. This motherfucker was just and I'm like, what the and I'm trying to like get into it, but I just can't. And then out of nowhere, he just put his hand up my shirt, and I was like, whoa, that's too much. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Just, yeah, if ever I'm doing something that's like too much, just tell me, like, just like you did. I'll stop, I swear. Like, I don't. And like, he was really like nice about it, and I could tell he felt bad, and I could tell that he just didn't know what to do. And I just felt so awkward because he was giving off such awkward energy. It was just making me feel awkward, and then it was just making me think about Honey even more, because like, Honey just exuded confidence, and it made me feel confident, and I was like confident around him, and like, and so he's like, Kochi's like, can we keep kissing? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we're kissing, and it's just some more of just, and I'm like, fam, and I'm trying to like help him like open his mouth a little bit, something, but like eventually, I think probably like after 3 minutes, I was like, I can't fucking do this. So I pull back, and I'm like, I pulled back, and I'm like, thank God that's over. Like, and I open my eyes, and I see this motherfucker go. Wow. I need a second. I shit you not. I would not make this up. He literally pulled back from the kiss and said some, wow. And I was just like, yeah. And he drove me to work, which I could have walked, but he just offered. I usually walk, it's like a 5-minute walk, but he drove me to work, and we kissed again. It was a little bit better, but yeah, needless to say, I didn't see him again after that. He wanted to see me though. He kept asking if I like wanted to do this like marathon run with him, and I was just like, no. And that's exactly what I mean. Like, in that situation, he'd probably see me as the bad guy, because I eventually just stopped talking to him. Like, we fell off. Like, it wasn't like I was just leaving him on red, but like, we just, yeah. And it was my fault. I'll own up to it. I could have just said, hey, I'm just not really feeling this. But I just really I didn't want him to feel bad, because I knew he would know it was because of the kissing. And I just didn't want him to feel bad. I didn't know what to do. So we just eventually fell off. But anyway, after that situation, it just made me think about Honey even more. And like, I was just like, I just don't want to deal with like other people. Like, I just want him. And so, but I could just tell she just wasn't feeling the same way. But I needed to do something, because at that point I was feeling like really crazy. Like, I was like thinking about him all the time, like thinking about us and like what we were and like blah blah blah. So finally, I just called him. I just called him one day. We didn't really talk on the phone that much. We had before, like probably like once or twice, but that wasn't really our thing. I called him and he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's up? Blah 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 blah. And at first it was like this small talk thing. We were just catching up, because like we had went like 3 weeks with barely talking to each other, which was driving me insane, because, you know, we went the whole first month and a half talking every day. So he told me like, yeah, I just came back from a trip, in like a hiking trip or something, which hurt my feelings, because I was just like, you know, when we were good, because obviously we're not good right now, when we were good, he literally told me about everything he was doing. So I knew something was wrong, because why didn't you tell me that you were going? And not saying that he is obligated to tell me, but it was just the fact that like before he would volunteer information because he was excited to tell me about it, and then all of a sudden he just stopped. Like, I knew something was strange. I was really scared to bring it up. I was really scared, because I didn't want to push him away. I didn't want him to like, and eventually I was just like, bitch, you need to boss the fuck up and just say it. So I was like, are we okay? And he was like, yeah, why? And I was like, it just feels like things aren't how they used to be. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, and I was fully prepared for him to like tell me some like BS excuse, like, oh, I was just so busy, and like blah blah, even though whenever he was busy before, he would just tell me that he was busy, and then I would be like, okay, and then he would get back to me when he could. So I was fully prepared for some like BS like crap like that. It's getting dark again. I was fully prepared for some BS crap like that, but he literally was just like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, we haven't seen each other in 3 weeks. You've barely said a word to me in 3 weeks. How do you think that nothing's wrong? I don't understand. And so I said that. I was just like, when I said, it just feels like things aren't how they used to be, he was like, well, we haven't known each other that long. I was like, wow. So now I look crazy. Great. That's fucking great. Anyway, long story short, I just told him that I felt like he was being really distant and stuff, and he was like, oh, I didn't, and he said exactly what I thought he was going to say before. He was just like not to be like that, but like I was just really busy and blah 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 blah. I didn't mean anything by it, blah blah blah. Even though I know that was totally BS. I knew he was BSing me. I knew there was more to it, and then he just, whatever it was, I don't know what it was. And at the time, I didn't know if he just didn't want to come to terms with how he felt about me, or if he literally just wasn't feeling me anymore. But it was just like, damn, I wish you would just tell me if you don't like me anymore, you don't want to be with me, like not be with me because we weren't together, but if you don't want to see me anymore, just fucking say that. I don't get it. And one could argue that I could have done the same thing with Kochi, like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore, but like, I don't know, in that situation, I just felt like it wasn't really like, it wasn't a thing, because we had only went on 2 dates. We'd only been talking for like 2 weeks. Like, And like we talked like every 3 days, had a conversation just to check in, make sure our plans were set. It just wasn't the same thing. Anyway, he was like, oh, I'm sorry if you felt like I was doing that on purpose. I really wasn't, blah blah blah. I remember from our conversation before that you really value communication, so I'm gonna talk to you more if that's what you really want. And you know, I guess I should have been happy with that, but it just felt so forced. And the next day he did initiate conversation and like try to like talk to me, and we had a conversation, and it was a good conversation, just like it always was. But like it was just like, damn, like why did I have to tell you that? Because to me, if you're not putting forth effort to talk to me, that means I'm not on your mind. You must not be thinking about me. It must not be that deep for you. And that's cool. If it's not that deep for you, let me know. Because look, at this point, it's deep for me. It's deep for me. Anyway, so the day after that, I just really was like thinking about the whole thing, and I was just like, this just doesn't feel right. It just feels like I'm just gonna be in this limbo for a really long time. He doesn't want to be with me, obviously. That conversation just solidified it. If the whole 3 weeks of barely even talking to me didn't, that conversation did. And so the next day, so 2 days later, I basically sent him this long text, and I was like, I really like you, I really want to be with you, but I can tell that you just don't feel the same way. And that's fine, but I just really need to move on, because I'm just trying to accept things for how they are instead of how I want them to be or what they maybe could be in the future. And I was really proud of myself, because I was like, you know what, I'm standing up for what I want, I'm standing up for myself, blah 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 blah. And I just expected it to be the end of that, whatever. But he said, wow, you're really mature. You're so mature. I just really appreciate that so much. You're right. I don't really want anything serious right now. But if my headspace ever changes, could I give you a call? And I was like, oh my God. Like an idiot. And I was like, sure. Hopefully I'll still be around if that were to happen. Whatever. We didn't talk for like 4 months. And those whole 4 months, I was just like, damn, I wonder, because like, why would you say that to someone if that's not what you meant? And I really liked him. I just wanted us to be in a relationship. I wanted to just give him my whole damn heart. I really did. So the whole 4 months that we didn't talk, we didn't like each other's pictures on Instagram. We didn't look at each other's Snapchat stories. It was like cold hard cut off. Like, we didn't talk. No communication. And I thought that the next time that we ever spoke, first of all, would be his initiation. And when he did do that, if he did do that, it would be because he's trying to date me. Well, needless to say, in 4 months, he sent me a message on Instagram. And it wasn't just like a regular message. He felt the need to comment on one of my pictures on DM. I don't know why you couldn't have just left a comment. And why I'm saying this is because the conversation that we had ended up going back, because I was so excited when I saw his message. Try to play it cool, try to wait a couple hours to respond. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it, this is what I've been waiting for. The conversation that we had was just like nothing. Like, we caught up, but it was just like, he's not asking me to like hang out, he's not asking to like see me or whatever. Like, I don't understand, why are we just having a casual conversation right now? And then the next day I was like, so what did you message me for? And he was like, well, I messaged you because you looked hot. was just like, what the And then he goes, I remember from our last conversation that you were looking for a relationship. I respect that, but that's still not what I'm looking for. However, I really enjoy your company and I'd love to catch up. I was so blown and hurt. I was like, so you can fuck me again? Like, so clearly you don't give a fuck about my feelings. Because I literally broke off things with, if I wanted to keep fucking you, I could have just did it. But I literally broke off things with you because I couldn't handle it anymore. And I thought that I was being the mature person and ending it, telling you I can't fucking handle this anymore because I want to be with you. And you know, every single time I think about, I always think I'm over it. But if I ever talk about it, or if I think about it for too long, I just get so mad about it. Because a whole bunch of other things happened afterward, because like an idiot, like 2 months later, I messaged him again, and then we saw each other briefly, and then, but it's just after this whole situation, I just realized, like, he was just fucking playing me. But for what? For what? Like, and I'm convinced that he just said that he basically teased me with the possibility of being in a relationship just to keep me around, just to keep me as an option, so he could just pop back in if he wanted to. And that is just so fucked up and unexpected. Like, wow, I did not expect that from you at all. You seemed like such a genuine person. And on top of that, why did you, if you didn't feel that way about me, why would you do all of this extra shit? Why would you go out of your way to make plans with me, to go on dates with me? You could have just showed up to my room and fucked me and left. But you didn't. You did all of this extra shit. Going out of your way, almost like going out of your way to make me have feelings for you, just for you to just be like, no, bitch, fuck you, I don't like you. So anyway, and I mean, that situation, it hasn't completely ended, I guess. I haven't talked to him in like a month, but it just sucks because, like, I just keep going back and thinking about that situation, and I guess, like, I'm so annoyed too, because, like, it's like, you know, I started talking to this other guy who, like, seemed like he was like the same thing, so into me, so about me. And in the moment that I show any interest, the moment that I reciprocate interest, poof, gone, just gone. Stops messaging me, stops trying to, like, get to know me, blah, 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 blah. And only messages me now if I post a picture on Instagram that he really likes. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can have so many feelings for someone and they don't feel the same way. I don't understand how you can make out with someone and, like, kochi him feeling so many things, and, like, that it made me feel bad. Like, I don't feel good about that at all. It made me feel bad. This whole love thing is just weird, you guys. It's just weird. Well, the whole relationship, dating thing. And honestly, it's just the only reason why I'm even really, like, I'm so sad about it. I'm so taken aback from it, is because I just feel like everybody that I know, it seems like they're just finding the love of their life. You know, they're going on trips with them, they're having the time of their life, they're moving on. A lot of my friends are, like, moving on to the next stage with their partners, and, like, they're about to get married, they're, like, engaged. My fucking sister, my 20-year-old sister is engaged, and I'm just sitting here, like, and that's the thing that hurt me the most about the situation with Honey is because, you know, when I was with him, like, it made me not even care about being hurt by someone. He made me feel like I just wanted to dive right in, and whatever consequences I got were the consequences that I got. Like, I didn't feel the need to put up any walls. I didn't feel the need to be like so guarded with my emotions. And I really, really thought that when you meet someone like that makes you feel like that, it's supposed to mean something. That person is supposed to, like, be significant in your life. And I feel so fucking stupid for crying over someone who doesn't give a fuck about me. Crying over someone who could literally care less about me and my feelings. So all the dating apps are deleted off my phone. They've been deleted for like a month. I'm swearing off dating apps and everything for like a year. I've been doing good so far. If I go on a date, it'll be because I meet someone in person. But other than that, and it'll only be if they initiate it, because I'm not initiating anything anymore. And I'm just really just hurt, confused. I don't know how to feel, what to do. And yeah, I just felt like talking about it because it's been on my mind a lot, and hopefully I can move past this situation, because obviously there's nothing coming from it, because if there was, it would have happened already. But yeah, this millennial shit is just for the fucking birds, and like people like me, we get eaten alive out here. People like me that, like, when you meet someone that you really like, you just want to do everything for them and give them your whole heart, and you can't do that. And it's like, it goes against the person that I am, so it's really hard. It's really hard for me. And then at the same time, it just makes me feel like I don't trust now when people claim to be into me or like really want to do this and this and that, because it's like, I've been in 2 situations now where people have gone out of their way to be nice to me, to get to know me, and then make me feel things, and then just literally act like my emotions are nothing, and then they don't feel anything either. And it fucking hurts. It's like, what did you do all that for? And the thing with the Honey situation, like I said, I would have kept fucking you without all of that, because my intention, and that's the thing, I didn't have any intentions to be with you in the first place. You were gonna be my F-buddy number 1. I was gonna have 2 after you. But it's whatever, I guess. Anyway, I'm probably gonna film another video because this makeup is too cute to go to waste. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you ever been through a situation like this? Am I alone? Am I just crazy? I don't know. Gracias por ver el video y se